Crew members, what it be?
What's going on, everybody?
Yeah, I got raspy as fuck on that one.
Hi. Okay, so we're just playing. I know that. Hi. You'd have thought Anthony was here. Anthony is not here this week. He has drill, so it is just Wes and I kicking it.
Yeah.
Just like the old days, bro. Just like the old days. And this episode's going to have a little bit of a different flavor, I think, right?
A little bit, mainly because we're talking about something that didn't start in the console world, but it did end up getting into the console world.
Yeah, and it is I don't want to say that it's a dying form of gaming, but it's certainly not what it used to be, and I miss it.
There are so many places around us that have these little niche spots, you know what I mean, that have them, and for everybody to know, we're talking about arcades.
Hell yeah.
Arcade games. We have a handful of spots around us that, you can go to like one on 2nd Street Pike over in Southampton. There's one over near the Regal in Willow Grove.
You got your Dave and Buster's, and we used to have this place called Challenges in the Willow Grove Mall.
Oh.
For anyone that's around where we live, they'll remember that place.
Yes, the Willow Grove Mall back in the 90s.
Everyone that loves video games should just remember that feeling of either going to a mall or someplace with your parents, and they go do something, and you just dip off into the arcade. You
toss you some quarters.
You gotta get yourself. You gotta either bring a roll of quarters. Or, back when if you had those places that had tokens, you were lucky enough to have, like $4 crumbled up in the bottom of your pocket. Go get yourself some tokens and, get your game on for a little bit.
Fuck yeah.
And I miss it. So we decided to, touch on our top 5 arcade games because we spent a lot of time in arcades as kids.
Yeah, we did.
We certainly did. You had them everywhere. You had them down the shore, go down the shore.
They're still down the shore.
I know.
Down the Jersey Shore, yeah.
Yeah. I got to get back there.
I don't.
Well, that's the thing. I don't know if I just got like ADD or something like that because I can't, like, the one thing I can't do is just go down the shore and sit on the beach for hours and not do anything. I get down there and I immediately hit the boardwalk, and I'm just going in and out of all the shops and spending all my money in the arcade.
So even before the pandemic, to where we're not supposed to be around people like that, I still didn't like being around people like that. So for me, I don't like being on boardwalks much. It's just not really my thing. I don't like. I don't like passing by people and all.
Well, see, that's the thing. If you could go down,
there's too many people, dude.
If you go down for the weekend and get, start going down
there
like
for the
8,
weekend,
9,
you're screwed.
No, but I'm saying you go like 8, 9 o'clock on the boardwalk where it's a lot more clear, and really the only places you want to go are the places that are still open, the arcades and stuff like that. It's fun, but I get what you're saying. When it gets super over, like that's why the boardwalk at Wildwood is so much better, but it is so much more congested.
Yes.
Everybody goes there, and because that's the feature of Wildwood is the boardwalk, you can't... everybody's breathing all up on each other.
Atlantic City has a good boardwalk, mainly because it's more spread out, because most people are in the casinos. Casinos are still open, but still.
But around us, I believe, as far as Jersey goes, Ocean City has the nicest beach of all of them, so you get luckier that the boardwalk isn't always as crowded because a lot of people do want to be on the beach, whereas Wildwood kind of sucks, so everyone's on the boardwalk.
Yeah, no, you're right.
But anyway, back to what we were saying. Arcades, we are counting down our top 5, and there was a lot to go on. When I was doing my research, I already pretty much knew what my 5 were. I just didn't know where I was going to rank them, but I wanted to just get a refresher on what type of arcade games there were.
I had to take a little bit of a look.
And when I was looking,
I won't lie.
And it's crazy because outside of one of them, when I was looking up lists of like the most popular arcade games, they were all like the old school, like Pac-Man, Dig Dug, Mr. Do. Well, see, okay, all right, Galaga.
And, let's not.
But that is what started it, though.
Once again, I feel like we'd be. It wouldn't do us any good not to go ahead and mention the greatest arcade games of all time, the Donkey Kongs. You know what I'm saying?
Pac-Man.
Pac-Man is still ranked number 1, straight up. Like, there are so many, and dude, you're talking about billions upon billions of dollars to this day.
We actually have, I don't know if you've been in there, but I'm sure you've seen it. We have a arcade near the Regal movie theater in Warrington around here that is strictly a retro arcade.
Yes.
You go in there and it's all old systems.
Well,
and I think you can pay like one flat fee and just be in there for hours.
Yeah, you pay by the hour, which is how
and then you have infinite credits on whatever games you want to play once you're in there. And yeah, it's all the old things, like you said, Donkey Kong, Pac-Man, I think like the old Double Dragon, And
The old like a semi truck driving game,
yeah.
shit like that. Yeah.
Yeah, so we
all
have,
that type of shit.
Which is cool because, like I said, if you want to go down that road, there's like no better place to go than that. But let's kick this thing off, man. Do you want to go first or what? We'll go start back from 5, you know?
So before we go ahead and get this going, I do want to ask for everybody to please throw us a 5-star and give us a review on Apple Podcast and Podchaser. Let everybody know about us. We just had an amazing comment that came in from Club XP. And those guys, I mean, I'm actually really excited to listen to the newest episode they have because they actually went ahead and shouted us out. And you were the one that did the review. Andy.
Yeah, I actually got to listen to. It was perfect because the first time that I had the first episode of them that I had listened to was like a Halloween themed episode almost, which is perfect for me because I love horror movies.
Yeah.
And their setup was so cool. They were all, you know, even when they disagreed on things, they all had great points. Everyone was articulate. You could understand what they were saying. They were funny, and their structure was cool. So, like I said, they started with giving breakdowns of different trailers that came out for certain movies.
Oh,
I think,
okay.
I forget what one was. I forget what they were called. I think one was like Love and Monsters or something like that. I forget what the movie was called. But then they went into breaking down some of their most famous or favorite iconic horror scenes.
Yeah.
So we got stuff from Child's Play and The Fourth Kind, which is funny because for me is one of the most underrated. It's not even a horror movie. It's kind of, I don't know that it's horror. Have you ever seen it?
No.
It's based on
No.
Alien abductions and stuff like that. So you know how there's the, you know, when it comes to encounters with aliens and stuff like that, there's the first kind, second kind, third kind, which, you know, the fourth kind was basically like when they take over your body and, you know, do shit to you. It's got I forget who's in it. It's got damn it. Oh shit, Mila. Funny enough. It's got
we'll be talking about her later.
Yeah, it's got Mila in it. It's a great movie, but I never hear anyone talk about it, and they touched on that one. And it was just a good listen overall, and it made me excited to go and listen to some of their other stuff because I got a lot of information. It was presented in a way that I wanted to keep listening. It wasn't boring. I wasn't skipping around.
Nice.
And yeah, that's one. So if you have time, that's the Club XP podcast.
Yeah.
Definitely check them out.
Yeah.
Definitely check them out. It was great.
Like I said, I know they threw us a 5-star and they gave us a really, really nice comments. We really appreciate that, and we hope that you will do the same.
Yeah. Wish all the success for them in the future. For
Absolutely.
Sure. Interested to see what they do.
Yeah. So why don't you kick this, man? You want to go to number 5?
Yeah. So for me, number 5, it was a game called Mocap Boxing. I don't know if you ever played it. Now, they had these mocap games. I say back in the day. It feels back in the day because I'm pretty sure it was around maybe like 10 years ago probably where they had one.
10 years ago ain't back in the day, fam.
When you're only 30, that's like a third of your life back. I mean, I'm 32, but whatever.
Fucking young bitches.
Yeah, whatever. So mocap boxing. Now these mocap games they had ones where you played like a cop. It was called like Mocap 911 or something like that, where you would they had this mat that you would stand on that would track your movements. So you would hold the gun, and if you would move, you could duck, and it would track your body. Well, they had one for boxing where you'd pick up these boxing gloves, put them on, you stand on the mocap thing, and you would actually have a boxing match, and you could dip and dodge and stuff like that. Like it wasn't just one of those pick up the gloves and see who can swing their hands the fastest. Like there was actually strategy to it. And it was fun because it was so different. Because it was different than anything else that they had at the time. Because a lot of everything else there was shooters and which were a dime a dozen. All great. I may have some on my list. But mocap boxing was it was fun. I got to combine two things, which was always wanting to be moving and video games. I was able to do both. So did I just?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, goddamn it. Ding. Shit.
It was a small one, but I still heard it.
But yeah, so that was mocap boxing, man, and it was so much fun.
Nice. My number 5 is NFL Blitz.
I forgot about that shit. That didn't even make my list. Damn, you ain't lying. And I had that in my own restaurant.
Yes, you did.
Mother of God. What a jackass.
Bruh, I have at least 1 or 2 on my top 5 that ended up, that I remember playing at Spanky's. So
damn. Continue. Sorry.
So NFL Blitz is a midway games game, and you essentially played 7-on-7, and it was like the players were abnormally constructed. They had like huge barrel chest and shoulders, and just basically like tiny waist, little
They
legs.
were big brutes.
Yeah,
is basically what they were.
And so essentially, you're talking about like what was it, NBA Jam? You're essentially talking about like that big just overabundance of celebration and and just big play.
Yeah,
That's essentially what you had with NFL Blitz. You had all the NFL teams in there. I mean, because the game came out in give me a sec real quick. All right, so the game came out in '97. So at that point, you had all of the teams that are out now, excluding, I would think, the Titans.
I thought you had the Titans.
Well, at that time, I think they might have been the Oilers.
Oilers,
though.
yeah.
And I'm not entirely sure if they had the Browns in there or not, because remember, the Browns came back in, I think, in the 2000s.
Bro, what was your favorite play in NFL Blitz? It should be the same as like everybody else's. We all used it.
I mean, them fucking sweeps were on point.
Oh, dude, it's all about the bomb.
Well, yeah,
all
and
about
actually,
the bomb.
I mean, the sweeps were on point. I mean, because if you had the progress meter built up, you'd eventually be able to just nobody could knock you the fuck out. Dude. Like the game was just so good.
Yeah, it was
just so much
it was
fun.
so fun, and it just
And not to mention, okay, so you could, all right, so like you know how in any other like Maddens or 2Ks whatever, you could go ahead, pass interference, you know what I mean, late hits, none of that shit. It didn't fucking matter. You could have been out of bounds for 20 yards. You could still get laid the fuck out. Pass interference did not happen. You can go ahead, take anybody out during throwing the bomb and all that other type of shit. Like it did not matter.
And I believe that's the game that NHL got their idea from when they came out with NHL Hits, because it was the same thing. It was an arcade version. You could check the goalie if you wanted to. You could do whatever you wanted. But man, Blitz, what a pick, man.
Thank you.
What a pick. And since I know he listens to us, I shouldn't let this segment go without talking about AJ, because he had all of the top scores at our old restaurant, Spanky's, and he'll never let me live it down, because that's the one game I could never beat him in. And he was such a dick, because the way this game worked, there were certain things you could do that made no sense. Everything was very much like, the game was very fixed animations, and certain things would always happen. And he would make a pass, run up the sideline, have my whole team following him, go down the goal line, come back, and he would just run around the field while all my guys were chasing him, and then go in the end zone. It drove me nuts, and he'll laugh hearing this podcast and have me talk about that. But NFL Blitz, what a game.
Yeah, man.
What a game. All right. Number 4 for me. This is where it got tough, because these top 4, I can make a case for me to make any of them number 1, just for how much time I played them and whatnot, but this is where I landed. Number 4 is Time Crisis. Yeah, Time Crisis. And there's a lot of them now.
Classic game for the movie theater arcade.
Yeah, oh yeah.
That was one that I would play. I mean, look, not to mention, dude, that game brought to rise games like Area 51 and Terminator Salvation and all that type of stuff.
Yeah. It was Time Crisis focused on their big thing was shooting on-screen enemies in the area with a specific time limit, or in a specific amount of time, to be able to continue to the next area. But what made them different was their cover system. They were the first game, to my knowledge, that had a cover system, based on a pedal. You would have your gun, the screen in front of you, and there'd be a pedal on the ground. And if you push the pedal, like if you're not standing on the pedal, your guy would be down in cover behind something, because everything is a rail shooter. So every area you go to, you'd be behind cover. You'd step on the pedal, your guy would pop up. You could shoot things, go back under cover.
Which is funny, because you would think that it would be the opposite. You would think that in order to go to cover, you'd step on the pedal. On it.
But they probably realized you spend more time in cover, so they just make it easier on you to not have to hold a pedal down.
Yeah,
because you're only sparingly popping up. But yeah, every other game, none of the other games had that pedal. It was just you were in an area and you had to shoot. So this actually gave you the ability to think a little more strategically and defensively, and see where guys are and whatnot. And they have Time Crisis blew up, and then they had, I think they're all the way up to Time Crisis 5 now, is the latest one that you'll see in like Dave and Buster's.
I was about to say, because we threw down on that a few times during your bachelor party at Dave and Buster's.
Yeah, and since Time Crisis, they've added new features. They have buttons on the side of the guns now where you can actually switch between different weapons. You can have machine guns and shotguns and stuff like that. But yeah, it was super cool. So I'm not gonna say I don't believe it gave birth to the rail shooter, but it definitely switched it up. And with that cover system, it changed the game a little bit. And to my knowledge, I think they're still the only one that has it. That's like what they're known for now. When you see that pedal on the floor, like, oh shit, this is a Time Crisis game.
Yeah. No, yeah. I'm thinking about it, yeah, because what you have with a lot of those games now is you got to shoot off screen to reload, but nothing comes close to that pedal.
Yeah. But yeah, that's for me. Number 4, Time Crisis.
So my number 4 first made it to the arcades back in 1999.
I feel like it's going to be something that's on my list. We have to have games that are on our list.
If we don't, it would be surprising. It is actually my only racing game that I have on this list, on my list of top 5s. And it is the full throttle adrenaline rush itself, Hydro Thunder.
Was that the other one that I had at my restaurant?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was one that I had a bunch of fun on, dude.
Yeah, if you could get Ron off it, because that was his favorite game too, and he was always on it.
Yeah, when he wasn't supposed to be. I mean, he should have been in the back cooking, but instead he's.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Hydro Thunder was a racing game with speedboats, and you had a choice between easy, medium, and hard, and then a bonus. And there were little codes you could do. Like, I mean, if you had the fastest run and then you put in a particular code, you'd be able to unlock other boats and everything else like that. The game, like I said, the game started out in March of 1999 in the arcades, and then because of how successful it was, only 6 months later did it end up on Dreamcast being on console for the very first time.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, it's on Game Pass right now. I'm pretty sure. I'm almost guaranteed that I've seen it on Game Pass.
Yeah.
Which it makes me laugh to see it, and I might actually go ahead and and throw the controller to my kid, and be like, hey, try this game, because she loves Mario Kart. So she might want to go ahead and dig it.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude. I mean,
that was unique because everything else around there was cars. It was always built around cars.
And that's what everybody's used to the thought of like controlling Cruising USA,
Cruising the World, and Need for Speeds.
Oh yeah, all the Need for Speed games. So this definitely gave you a different look because it was all the speedboats. Then you'd have the blue little tokens you could hit to go ahead and get a little bit of boost, or the red ones for a lot of boost. Yeah. And then you'd have certain ramps to hit and go ahead and get you to secret areas to be able to go ahead and get a little ahead of everybody else. You'd have whole sections that weren't even on fucking water. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. I think one might have been like Venice. To where you're going down like the aqueducts and all that type of stuff.
Yep. So
yeah, dude, that one.
Great game.
That one, I just remember spending a lot of time at Spanky's. And even randomly, I'll hit it up somewhere.
Let's take a second, because we didn't necessarily clarify this. Spanky's is not a strip club. This was a restaurant that my family owned.
Why would a strip club have arcade games?
If you want to get away from the strippers for a little bit. I don't know.
See, I've been to a handful of strip clubs. Now I'm trying to remember if I've actually seen arcade games.
Maybe they take a lot of your money. All you have left is $1, so a fucking arcade makes sense. Mm-hmm. I don't know. But yeah, Spanky's was not a strip club. It was a restaurant that my family owned, a pizza place that we owned for like half a decade. Or something like that.
Shit, I worked there.
Yeah, just about every friend that I have now worked there at some point.
Yeah.
You worked there. Our buddy Matt worked there.
Yep.
Jake, John, Anthony would be the only person, because I met him after.
Afterwards.
I met him afterwards. But that's actually where I met AJ. That's So many of the people that I have in my life now I have because of that place, or had a large hand in working at that place. Yeah. But yeah.
Because I worked there before you and I actually became friends.
Yeah. Yeah. I just didn't want a bunch of people like, what is this Spanky's that they keep going to?
Yeah.
It's not a strip club.
Yes, yeah. It was called called Spanky's.
Although it was interesting in school telling people that my mother worked at Spanky's. That made for a lot of fun.
I bet.
That made for a lot of fun.
All right, so what's your number 3?
Number 3 for me was also something that we had at Spanky's. And this was hard for me to not put at number 1 because of the amount of hours that I put onto it. But this was a game called Jambo Safari.
I completely forgot about that.
Bro.
Oh, my God.
Bro.
Oh, I need to read my list. Fuck.
Bro. Jambo Safari
So good.
was great. Now, in Jambo Safari, you use a steering wheel and a gear
The
shift.
Black Panther.
Yup, to pursue animals in a Jeep and catch them using a lasso.
Oh.
So basically what you would do is you would be let loose on this safari. You would have a certain amount of time, I think like 90 seconds or something like that, and you could drive around and you could find different animals, but even each animal, there'd be if there was a pack of lions, you could find like that king lion.
Yes.
That was like 5 stars and had a crown.
Yes.
And the better you catch, the more time you would get to be able to go to the next level. And if you got far enough, they had like special animals you could try to catch, like Wes just said, the Black Panther. So all the animals they had, you had an African wild dog, Arabian oryx, black leopard, black rhino.
The Black Rhino.
Black
I forgot
Rhino.
about that.
Yep, cheetah, baboon, grand zebra,
dude, the cheetah
hartebeest,
was nuts.
impala, leopard, lion, mandrill. What's the one? Is it Okapi with the zebra legs and a?
I think so. Now, one of the biggest things with that game was, I mean, like I said, you had the lasso. You just had to make sure that you didn't have too much tension on it for too long,
Or it
or
would
else
snap.
it would snap, and then you'd have to start all over again.
Yeah, because-
so it was.
yeah.
It was. I mean, it was very much like what you would expect, like fishing to be.
This was it was like there was basically 3 phases. So your first phase is you just driving this Jeep trying to find what you want, and as soon as you found it, then the chase would begin. It would
Yes.
start going away, you'd have to follow it, and then you'd have to time and shoot your lasso. Once you shot your lasso and actually had it on there, you would have to control the Jeep in a way to stay behind it and not get too far off to the left or right to where the lasso would snap. Like
Yeah.
you're saying, you pay attention to your tension, and then when you had it lined up right, you would hit the button to shoot your net and catch it.
Yep.
But they also had the reticulated giraffe, antelope, hyena, white rhino. It was so much fun, and it was so different, and I loved the shit out of that game. I played that game more than any other game in that restaurant. I played it religiously.
I played that there. I played that at Regal.
That game might be the reason that Spanky's had to close, because that's where a lot of the money went that I took out of the register.
Oh, that game. Oh my god. Incredible. Fucking incredible.
Like AJ's cream chip beef paid for like my 2 hours of Jambo Safari. It should have paid to like go back into the restaurant, but I just put
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, my bad.
So my top 3 are all fighting games. I just want to go ahead and just point that out now.
Ooh, okay. So
Yeah.
unless you're counting this one that I have as a fighting game, we may actually have completely different lists, which is wild.
Wow.
Yeah, because I don't have any fighting games on here, which is surprising because I feel like I know where you're gonna go with one of these, and it's makes perfect sense.
It might be the one that I'm about to say right now, because this one I'm pretty sure I played at Spanx as well. Marvel vs. Capcom.
We had that?
Pretty sure.
Holy shit! I think you might be right.
Pretty sure.
It is a great game.
Oh, fantastic game.
I own it for Dreamcast.
Yeah, so Marvel vs. Capcom is a serious crossover fighting game that was developed by Capcom. It features characters from their own video game franchises and the comic book series that they had through Marvel Comics. I mean, look, you had Capcom, so you had Street Fighter, you had Mega Man. Who else?
Wait, I'm sorry. What are you saying?
Capcom characters.
Oh God, Mega Man. You had Jill, right? Jill Valentine. Did you say that?
No, I did not.
I believe you had Jill Valentine, if I'm not mistaken. You had
Of course, this list I have doesn't actually have the fucking characters.
I know they had Mega Man. Did that one also have Roll? Because I know Roll was in one of the games, but that might have been in 2 or 3.
I don't think it was in. I mean, when I'm talking about Marvel vs. Capcom, I'm talking about basically the whole run of it.
Ryu, Ken,
yeah.
I believe.
Yeah, all Street Fighter. Street Fighter guys and all that type of shit. And on top of it, I mean, you had with Marvel, you had like obviously the X-Men. So you had like Gambit, which is one of my favorite guys. Wolverine, Cyclops, Storm, Beast, like all that type of stuff. Yeah, man. So this game initially came out back in. They first started this whole run of this type of stuff back in '96 with X-Men vs. Street Fighter.
That makes no sense. I was only 8. I feel like I was older than 8.
Apparently not.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, look, man. I mean, they've had a bunch of them that have come out since. Because you had X-Men vs. Street Fighter, then Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter, then Marvel vs. Capcom's Clash of Superheroes, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, Age of Heroes, Marvel vs. Capcom 3, Fate of Two Worlds. Why am I saying Marvel instead of saying Marvel?
Every time you said it, Marvel has gotten worse and worse.
I know. And then Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 is another one. Like it just goes on and on. But yeah, man. So I mean, it's the classic tag team type game to where you can switch players out. You pick a team of like 2 or 3 or whatever the case may be, and you can switch them out and just keep on just battling. Then you had the team up combo moves.
Yeah, you could save up your special move if you wanted to have everybody come out and just do some crazy attack.
Ultimate type shit. Yeah. It was incredible. So much fun. And once again, dude, I watched people play that game more than I probably played myself, but I still played for a good stretch. But it's one of those ones that that is always in my mind whenever I think of arcade games.
I'm trying to remember if it was a Marvel vs. Capcom game. I think that it was. That my favorite character, I don't know
Calm
if it
down
was
with that
in 3.
microphone, bro.
Yeah, I just hit the shit out of
Jesus
this
Christ.
microphone. One of the games, I believe, had Akuma. I loved using Akuma. That's that dude that basically looked like a dark version of Ryu or something. He had red hair.
Yeah.
I think that was that game, but that also could have just been a Street Fighter game, like Street Fighter 5 or something. But I feel like Akuma was in there, in one of them. But solid choice.
Thank you.
Solid choice. I hate that what we're both doing to each other is just wishing that we made like a top 10. Because every one that you've mentioned so far could be on my list.
I still would have never thought of like the Safari one. It never clicked in my head.
It's one of those things that I'm so happy that we had the restaurant, because I don't know that if I didn't have it in my possession to play that I ever would have.
Oh my God, I'm so fucking mad that I forgot that one.
All right, well, we're getting into the heavy hitters now. Top 2.
Let's go.
Now, number 2 for me, if you go into any arcade now, what is one of the shooters that you always seem to have to wait to get into play? Notice I say get into play, because there's always people already in there, and they play the game for a while. It easily has the longest wait for shooters in arcades now.
See, I always thought Terminator Salvation would be.
That's close. I just don't think. Do you actually go inside for that one?
No, you don't go in.
Yeah, this is one of the.
That's one of the horror ones, isn't it? Fuck.
House of the Dead.
Yeah, there you go.
House of the Dead is my number 2.
I'm pretty sure that one was in was that Dave Muscle. We never got into it. We
did.
was one of those that
we did, because that was the one that we literally waited. We stayed there for like hours longer than we were planning on, because we were just trying to beat it.
Yeah. All right, no, you're right.
House of the Dead is another rail shooter, and for anyone who doesn't know what a rail shooter is, rail shooters are just those games where everywhere you go is already predetermined. You don't actually walk to the places. You kill the enemies in a certain area, and they move you to the locations they want you to be at. So it's a first-person light gun shooter with a horror theme, so you already know that appeals to me. That was released September 13th of 1996, and it was the first game in the series. I believe they got all the way up to 4.
Damn.
I believe. You assume the roles of agents Thomas Rogan and an agent named Agent G in their efforts to combat the products of the dangerous, inhumane experiments of Dr. Curian. So basically, it's a rail shooter that deals with zombies. It is basically what it is. And the first one always sticks out in my mind, because when you get to the boss battles, it was cool, because every time you got to a boss, a little thing would pop up showing you like where its weak spot was that you had to go for. You could play it with a friend. The original one, there was no booth or anything like that. You would just stand at the screen. Now they've gotten so popular, they have those booths that you go into. They have curtains on the side to close you in. They got rumbly Johnnies in the seats.
Johnnies.
And everyone's like, "What's a Johnny?"
Don't worry about
it. If you're from this area, it's everything. This microphone is a John. This bag of hot fries is a John. I'm talking to a John.
Yeah.
Fucking, Anyway. Yeah, so they've come a long way, and they're just a lot of fun. I love horror, and I love shooters. So
yeah.
That was perfect for me. And that's also one of the games that I know that I have the most amount of time on. Unfortunately, we didn't have one of those at the restaurant. I primarily played that down the shore. I do remember one time John and I went down with like $10 each in quarters and just stayed there for hours until we beat that shit. But yeah, that's my number 2, House of the Dead.
My number 2 could easily be probably one of the greatest arcade fighting games of all time.
I feel like I know what it is. I assumed it was going to be your number 1, but I feel like I know what it is.
It came out in April of 1995 in the arcades.
Shit, I think I know what both. I think I know what both of them are now.
And what I am talking about is Mortal Kombat 3.
Oh, somebody's ears just perked up in Spaghetti Town.
Oh yeah. Oh, we are being put on. We are being played over the loudspeakers in Spaghetti Town, sir.
Yeah, and there's probably gonna be a wanted poster up with my face on it because that's not even on my list.
Oh, and by the way, speaking of Spaghetti Town, if anybody, and I mean, I did promote this. I mean, I did promote this back when I was on it 2 weeks ago. I was actually on the What's Your Spaghetti Policy podcast. I did a guest spot on there. It was fucking hilarious. It was so much fun. It was like an hour and a half long. It's one of their longest episodes.
God, I want to be on that thing.
Oh, dude, it was great. Jacob was hilarious. Alex was, paving the way, trying to go ahead and keep us on, keeping both me and Jacob on track. It was actually pretty good. Yo, he is seamless when it comes down to transitions.
Oh yeah,
I am impressed.
yeah.
I am impressed. So please go to What's Your Spaghetti Policy podcast. Find it anywhere podcasts are being played, and look for the one with me. Check it out.
Yeah, and definitely hit them up on Twitter, man. They're closing in on 1,000. They're closing
they
in on
are.
1,000 followers, man. Help them get there because they deserve it.
Yes, they do. Absolutely, dude. They've been in the top 50 on that one chart for 5 months.
Podcast magazine, yeah.
Yeah, for 5 months, dude. Well deserved.
That's
Love
a
those
hell of
guys.
a run. Go for 6.
So, and the reason why this game perks up somebody's ears in Spaghetti Town, it's because it is Alex. It is his favorite series of all time when it comes down to video games.
Yeah, we had him on our podcast.
We had him on our Heroes and Villains for Mortal Kombat, yes, sir.
Yeah, and he was, Jesus, talk about a fucking open book of knowledge.
He is an
on Mortal
encyclopedia
Kombat. Yeah.
when it comes down to Mortal Kombat.
It was fascinating.
So one of the biggest things I loved about this game, besides the fact of bringing in animalities, we'd be able to turn into an animal to go ahead and do the fatalities, or like the babyalities, or any other type of fatality, which are just amazing, is also the characters. And I'm just going to read off some of the characters in this game that I'm going to read them off because they're all fucking badass as shit. So you had Cyrax, which was the yellow robot. Cabal, which is he was basically a mercenary. Nightwolf, which is a Native American shaman. He was one of my favorites to go ahead and use. He had that green spirit arrows and those tomahawks.
Yeah.
You had Sector, which is the red robot. That was one of my favorites. Sindel, which is a resurrected queen, who's being controlled by Shao Kahn. You had Shiva, who is the four-armed woman, absolutely badass as shit. Stryker, who is just essentially just a riot officer, but I mean he had some good moves also. And then some of the returning characters were some of the classics like Jax, you had Kano, Kung Lao, Liu Kang, Sonya Blade, Sub-Zero, Shang Tsung, and Smoke. And the only way you could get Smoke is during the Ultimate Combat Code to actually type in to be able to get Smoke.
Yes.
Because he was one of the palette changed, one of the palette changed versions. Like Sub-Zero and Scorpion and Reptile and all that.
Yes.
And then, of course, you had the bosses. The bosses were Shao Kahn, which was one of the big fucking baddies. Gonna steal your soul. And then you had Motaro, who was the Minotaur. Or Centaur. There you go, that's what it is, Centaur. What the fuck's a Minotaur? Oh, Minotaur's the other way around, that's what it is. The Minotaur has the upper body of a bull.
And the bottom half of a human.
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I'll get it. I'll figure it out. But yeah, man, like Mortal Kombat's always gonna hold just an amazing place. It's just a lovely place in my heart for just amazing shit. So they had to make that list. Had to make that list for me. So now, Andy, what is your number one?
My number one, I think, is shared with a lot of people from some of the stuff that I was reading, but my number one came out in 1991. 1991, I was only 3.
I was about to ask if you were even born yet.
I was born. I was born. And it is based around a animated television series that has been out for what seems like 142 years. Forever. And that is the Simpsons arcade game.
Good choice.
Loved that game. I played that. You could
Good
play that game with
choice.
up to 4 people. The story follows around Maggie being kidnapped, and you choose, Homer, Bart, Lisa, Marge, and they all have their own attacks. Like I was always Marge. You run around beating the shit out of people with a vacuum cleaner. It was one of those side scroller beat 'em up kind of arcade games. And yeah, you could have up to 4 people. I think Bart was jacking people up with a skateboard. Lisa had like a jump rope or something, and Homer was just throwing hands and feet.
Oh shit!
And it was so much fun. I loved those beat 'em up games. Like,
I'd never played that.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like those types of games.
Yeah,
were always fun.
There's double beat 'em up and down side scrollers.
Yeah, Double Dragon and
yeah.
But the Simpsons game was a lot of fun because it looked just like the show.
Mm.
So it was a lot of fun. Like I said, you could have up to 4 players. That was one of the best parts because a lot of these other games like Time Crisis and Mortal Kombat and the game that I know is your number one and a lot of other things you can only play with one other person. So this you could have up to 4.
That is true.
And yeah, it was a lot of fun, man. It eventually came, I believe, it was ported to the Commodore 64, and it was also released on Xbox Live Arcade. What, and PlayStation Network in February 2012? But it's since been removed. Damn. Talk about taking me down, bringing me up, just to take me right back down again.
Damn, they just beat you, man.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's my number 1. And now I know for sure what your number 1 is. It's not even it's not even a guess. I know.
Yeah, my number 1 is a Namco game that first came out back in July of 1999. It is a game that I have spent countless hours not only playing in the arcade, but also playing on I believe it was my PlayStation 2 console. Yeah, PlayStation 2 console. So you know what it is?
I think so, but what's confusing me was I didn't realize it was Namco.
Yeah. What do you think it is?
Oh, no, because now I think I'm wrong, unless I'm just messed up on...
Just spit it out, Sunshine. Come on.
Tekken.
It is a Tekken game.
Tekken Tag.
There you go. Tekken Tag Tournament.
Why did I not realize that was Namco?
Yeah.
Holy shit. Oh, I just got a gentle kiss from your air conditioner that just came on. My right nip was like, hello. That feels good.
Wow.
Whoa. Yeah.
That
I kind of startled myself when I just said that. Man, it felt a little too good.
It feels too good.
My shorts moved a little bit.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, so Tekken Tag Tournament was first released as an arcade game back in '99. Before it came out for the PlayStation 2 in 2000.
Was that the one that had the bowling?
Yes.
Oh, that was like the best part of that game.
Yes. Now the version for the consoles had bowling. I do not believe that the arcade version actually had that. But what's cool is the characters that you got. You mean that you're able to unlock. You're able to unlock the bears. You mean the grizzly bear and the panda. I forget what their names are exactly, but I mean you're able to unlock a little dinosaur dude named Gong.
Oh, I know who you used though. I know damn right well I know who you used. Eddie Gordo.
Eddie Gordo was one. I was also a fucking master at that motherfucker too.
Yeah.
You had Eddie Gordo. Yoshimitsu was another one of mine, and then also
I was a King guy. I like King. But Eddie was my favorite.
Huang was another one that I was I really because he was able to switch back and forth between southpaw and standard.
I also probably my favorite was wait, who did you say?
Huang.
Oh, Law.
Yeah, Law.
Because Law was basically based after Bruce Lee.
Yeah, Bruce Lee. Yeah. Yeah, dude. Yeah, Law was good, and then you had like I said, you had Jin. Who is who is the son and grandson of of the main people that ran the Tekken tournament.
Yeah, and we actually talked about this before. Tekken was famous, especially if you went to some of these tournaments. Like, again, I'll bring him back up. AJ was probably the best I'd ever seen at that game. I watched him play in tournaments. Tekken was one of the games that was most famous for the juggling. Someone hit you in the air and you'll never hit the ground again. And he used to do that with Eddie. Do that little spin kick on the ground, kick you up in the air, and then
he'd be able to
you'd never. If someone gets you
on
in the
his
air,
hands,
it's over.
do the windmill and go ahead, and then even when they got on the ground, you'd be able to go ahead and just do the sweep kick back around to go ahead and keep them just off balance.
Yeah.
Tekken Tag was easily I was a huge Tekken 3 fan. I loved that game, but Tekken Tag Tournament was probably one of the games that really solidified. It just brings back my my late teenage years.
That game had some longevity, man.
Yeah.
What's the last one that came out?
7. Yeah, 7 came out, and I believe 7 is on Game Pass right now. I think no. I think 6 is because I was actually playing it. I actually streamed it for a night.
Is there a 7?
Yeah, there is a 7 though.
I think there's going to be an 8.
I would love that.
I think you'll see an 8.
I would love to see an 8. Let's see here.
But yeah, Tekken.
Yeah, 7 came out in 2015.
Okay. Yeah, dude, so that game's been out for a stretch, man. And, you know, it's hard to talk about games like that without shouting out what I believe. I don't know if it necessarily started that genre, but it started that look, I believe, was Virtua Fighter. Didn't Virtua Fighter come out first, the original?
Yes, it did.
It was very, very, like, I don't even know how you would call it. Fucking.
Virtua Fighter had that. It had that.
They all looked like damn geometric shapes.
Yes. Yeah, very like a chiseled jaw was quite literally a chiseled fucking jaw.
Yeah, it had that. Because that game I played first, you just had like the ninja again, that blue ninja against the dude with like the blonde hair.
Yep.
Or whatever, Paul, or I think it was his name, Paul, Jake. George,
the blonde straight up hair was Paul.
Paul, yeah, and then you had that ninja, whoever the hell the ninja was. But
the ninja.
Yeah, there was like a blue ninja in Virtua Fighter.
Oh, in Virtua Fighter. Oh, I thought we were talking about Tekken again.
No. But
okay, well then I don't know who it is in Virtua then, because the straight up hair guy is Paul in Tekken.
Yeah, I actually don't know.
Yeah, dude, that fucking bowling though. That bowling for Tekken was
Tekken Bowl
so good.
was so damn good.
Like, dude, we spent hours at my first apartment playing fucking bowling. Like
it's crazy how you pick up a fighting game and you spend more time bowling than you do fighting.
Because that's what it was, dude. Because you had to go through the game either like once or twice before you're able to unlock that section, and then once you're able to unlock, or I think you might have had to unlock all the playable characters, and then you were able to get it. I forget how it worked, but yeah, once you actually got it though, that was it. It was game over because that's all we did. We didn't do anything else.
So you got any honorable mentions you can think of?
I don't mention
just off the top of the dome.
Look, easily I would say Pac-Man is one. I mean,
yeah.
It's a given. Number one, it's the number one fucking arcade game. Period. Like Miss Pac-Man will be another one, obviously.
Yeah.
And Cruising USA was good. I mean, that was fun.
Double tapping that pedal for that.
Yeah, for that wheelie.
For that speed boost and flipping off of things. I mean, I got some like oh shit, what was I about to say? What's it called? Was it called Hang On? The motorcycle? Used to scare me because them bad boys could lean, son. Yeah. Lean. And if you didn't have a lot of strength with whatever opposite hand from where you were leaning, you were tipping the hell over.
Yep.
Yeah, that was always a fun one. I like stuff like that. What else is there? You got a point with some of those old school. Oh, was it called Police Trainer? I had that. We had that.
That was at Spanky's, yeah.
Yeah, where you got to do like different drills, like shooting these things that were popping up everywhere.
I mean,
Police Trainer.
There was a sniper one too that was really good.
Silent Scope.
Yeah, to where you actually were looking through the scope.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit was badass.
Yeah,
that was a lot of fun.
Silent Scope.
So, and that's the thing, man. For a lot of people listening to this, you also have to understand that when we're talking about arcades, we're not talking about Dave and Buster's. You know what I mean? We're not talking about only just down. Just being at the beaches and boardwalks and stuff like that. We're talking about at your local malls.
Yeah.
There would be a section as big as like 3 times bigger than an Apple store.
Yeah,
that would be designated just for arcade games.
Yeah.
I mean, once again, I don't know what it's like anywhere else in the country. I only know what it's like up here, you know what I'm saying, in the Northeast, or at least in PA.
Yeah, but now you really don't have that as a part of malls anymore, to my knowledge. Like, they're all standalone things. Like, you have that standalone arcade by the mall. You have Dave & Buster's, which is its own place now.
Yeah, it's true.
But before, you had, you went to the mall, someone was going somewhere you didn't want to go. Like, all right, I'll just swing by the arcade when you're done. I'll be in there.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It would be like, you'd be like, all right, at this time, your mom's gonna be standing outside. You're standing at the entrance of the arcade. You better be there.
Yeah, man. You go there.
Don't make her walk in.
You better be outside waiting. You go there. You play a game for, 2 hours. Get 4,000 tickets. Go to the guy at the window and gives you an eraser.
Yep. Yep.
$4,000. Yeah. Yo, can I get that real cool lightsaber over there?
That's 2.5 million.
Best I can do is an eraser.
That's 2.5 million tickets.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Mom, pick me back up Tuesday.
And
maybe I'll be halfway.
I won't
if I'm lucky. If I'm lucky. But yeah, I mean, arcades, of course, they had the games that we didn't want to touch on because we were trying to stick to things that ended up at least on console or more video gamey. Like, they obviously always have the basketball games and air hockey and those stop the light
foosball type games. Shit, and give me the dome, give me the hockey dome ones.
And it's cool how a lot of those have evolved because they had to. Like air hockey, they had to evolve and put that glass divider or that plexiglass divider in the middle because people were getting shot. People were getting taken out by that thing.
Yeah, you know how to just curve it right. Go ahead and get that lift.
Yeah, but man, there were so many good games. Like you said, the Pac-Mans and Area 51.
This is probably the third or fourth time I said it, but Terminator Salvation was another one. It's just such a good game.
Golden Tee, the golf game.
Yes.
They used to have it in a bar.
Oh, that was such a bar game. They had it at KT. They had it at so many bars. I used to get the bars that used to live over near Horsham, dude. They had in both of them, man.
The number one for me most dangerous game to play in an arcade, and this goes away from the video game style type of things, was that it was that like shuffleboard bowling thing that had the puck and the wood, and it had like sand on it to keep it going faster.
I remember,
and it would always come back too fast, and I didn't get my hand out of the way and pinch my fingers.
I remember when I was a kid, and I remember when I was like 9,
we had that at Spanky's too,
like 9, 10 years old. It was stuff like that. Like my mom would be working. My dad would take me and my sisters to the bar because he'd want to go ahead and have a drink, and that's what he'd throw us a few quarters, and then it was the only thing that was there for us to play. So so that's what we would do. We'd just go over there and.
You could never get it to, like, if you
shuttle hockey.
I don't know, but all I know is if you threw the thing down there too fast, it like wouldn't register. Could you get a strike on that? I don't even think you can.
Oh, I did.
I couldn't.
I did.
Maybe all the ones I did were broken.
Maybe. I know I can strike the motherfucker.
It's possible, but yeah, man, it was fun having that beast. I wish they would come back. Just like a. I know they still have. I know Dave and Buster's is still there, but it'd be so nice to just walk into the Willow Grove Mall one time and be like, holy shit, when did this arcade get here? Yeah. Like my inner 10-year-old
it's funny. So the show The Goldbergs is actually
I've seen a couple episodes.
Yeah, it's actually based off a family that lived in Jenkintown.
Okay.
So a lot of the episodes have to do with stuff around here. So they go to the Willow Grove Mall. They go to Franklin Mills. You know what I mean? I mean they do all that type of stuff. You know what I mean? To where like we watch, we go, oh shit, I know exactly where that is. It's a neat little thing for us at least.
Yeah, and it was fun. Not a lot of people get the experience that I had of growing up owning a restaurant that had an arcade. So, and having my stepdad be able to go in there and flick the credits up for all the games, so I didn't even have to pay at some point, like to show me how to get 99 credits on Pac-Man and all this stuff was fun. The little latch on the skee ball to make the balls come down without paying.
Sons of bitches. That's all.
You benefited too.
Not as much as you, bitch.
It was my restaurant. It's supposed to be that way.
It wasn't your restaurant. It was your mom's restaurant.
Well, she's my mom. What's hers is mine.
Okay, yeah, but was your name on it? You ain't Spanky.
Okay, well, you want to talk about my name on it? If you go in that arcade, my initials were on about every one of them games.
Okay, and so, they probably rented those games, didn't they?
Probably.
Okay, yeah, so shut up.
Then it's probably my fault that we had to give them back. So.
See, there you go. You destroyed the business.
I say that all the time. You laugh. I think it's true. Because every dollar that went into that damn machine, they were giving back to me to put in the thing, in the arcade games. Oops. Whatever, we had a good run. Sorry, Mom.
Yeah, it was good. Love that place.
Yeah.
All right, so.
That was a trip down memory
lane,
man.
Gotta love arcades, man.
A trip down memory lane. If you got time, man, it may not have the exact same feel, but take yourself to a Dave & Buster's. They're global, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty sure.
Take yourself to a Dave & Buster's, man, and have
national at least. I mean,
national at least. Take yourself to a Dave & Buster's, man. Take a, they got food there now. Take a Friday, Saturday night, go up there, get yourself some food, play some games. Like I said, let your inner 12-year-old out. And actually, Dave & Buster's is chill because forget letting your inner 12-year-old. Well, you can let your inner 12-year-old out while your 32-year-old self is having fun because you can take your mixed drinks and your beers and shit.
Bring them with you.
You can bring them with you. They got tables set up next to the game, so you can drink and shoot shit. Which is smart because they know the drunker you are, the more money you're going to put in there.
Yep. It's all about a business plan, bro.
Intelligent. Whoever, man, should have looked this up considering we're talking about arcades, but whoever the first person was that thought about an arcade is a genius. And they probably made so much money.
Probably.
But yeah, what a trip down memory lane. We need to go back.
Yeah, we do.
We need to go back.
Yeah, when all this stuff calms down a little bit.
Yeah,
It'll make it worth it.
Yeah.
All right, so you ready to hit some news?
Yes, sir.
Right, let's go. All right, so biggest thing that I have, well, one of the biggest things I have in news is we got a movie trailer for the Monster Hunter movie. What did you think?
I think the trailer looked great. A lot of things got me excited. A lot of things made me nervous. But of course, I'm always going to give it a shot. I'm not going to condemn it before it comes out. Some of the things that I was nervous about was we just talked about it on the Heroes and Villains. We were talking about Resident Evil and about how those movies kind of flopped in comparison to the games, and this movie is brought to you by the people that made Resident Evil.
Yes.
So that gives me cause to pause. But then again, there could always be a pro around the corner there, and maybe they learn from their mistakes, and this will be, a lot closer. And of course, they, just like Resident Evil, they went with Mila.
Yes.
Which is just, like I said, it's giving me flashbacks.
And once again, I mean, I will
not
say,
that I'm putting.
I believe either the writer of the movie or the director is Mila's husband.
And that is not me saying that she's not, a great actor. She wasn't good in the Resident Evil. It's just the movie itself. I mean, she can only work with what they give her. Mm-hmm. So I'm not putting it on her. It's giving me flashbacks to a movie that I didn't really like. But things that I did see that I loved, I have been and will always be a big fan of Tony Jaa. He's going to bring some crazy stuff to that movie.
Yeah, you have Tony Jaa in there as the hunter. Mila is playing a character named Captain Artemis. And then you have her elite military unit, which comprises of the rapper T.I., somebody who one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen in movies, Megan Good.
Yeah.
And you also have another guy named Diego Boneta.
Diego was in Rock of Ages. He played the main character.
Okay.
Not main. Well, the main next to Tom Cruise.
Yeah. No, I got you.
Yeah. Talented dude.
You also have Josh Hellman, who's in the movie, and then Jin Oh-young is also in the movie, and I believe she's the one that is well, also thinking that Jin is actually the woman, is the one that reminded me of. You remember the characters in the video games that that would write down all the information about the monsters?
Yes.
You mean the ones that had like the the goggles and shit, or
yeah.
Because she had what looked like that classic look. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? From the Monster Hunter games in that. Because we watched the international trailer. Yes. Because that one I heard from the Unknown Games podcast guys actually gives you a better look at the movie, as opposed to the trailer that was released in the United States, or North American trailer. So we get a handful of the monsters. We get a Rathalos, towards the end of the trailer.
And the fact that it's a Monster Hunter World movie, that they had to make the monsters look right, and they looked great.
And that's the one thing I said. The Rathalos looked amazing. The Diablos looked incredible, and that was a black Diablos too.
Yeah,
and that looked beautiful.
I know. I don't know the odds of seeing one, but I just want to see that freaking electric horse thing that fucked us up.
That was like one of the last spots that I played the game.
Me too.
Yeah,
that's probably where I ended because I got so frustrated.
See, funny thing. You ready for me? I want to see a Pookie Pookie.
I was gonna say that too.
I want to see a Pookie Pookie just because how ridiculous that thing was. You know what I mean? You mean with like the fucking turkey neck and shit.
It had like it was like a half. It's like a cross between like a peacock and a lizard and
an ostrich.
Yeah.
It was fucking odd. You also had those ankylosaurus looking things.
Mm-hmm.
Just the regular herbivore animals you had in there, which is basically just food for the big guys.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm excited to go ahead and see where this movie goes. I'm really hoping it's good. There are a lot of things about it to go ahead and tell me otherwise. Like I read some of the comments that had to do off this IGN article that I read, and some people are like, I love the fact that it's a Monster Hunter movie until you bring in the U.S. military aspect into it. Just because like you could have easily just you don't need to add the military part. You could have just had us in the world of Monster Hunter.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. This is where
you don't need to travel to a land. You just be there.
This is where they get themselves in trouble, not just sticking to the information and the scenario that you already have. When you're making a movie off of a game that people come to know and love, and then you send that shit off into a different stratosphere, it's where it gets people. Now it may work.
I mean, because
I get people's reservation about it.
You end up with a Rathalos in our world going ahead and like ripping the wings off of a plane, and it just I don't know. To me, it just doesn't. It doesn't seem right. I don't like that part of it.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll see.
No, I understand. But like I said, let's just give it its time.
Yeah.
And come out and then judge it appropriately.
My other news topics, I actually kind of want to save for when the three of us are together for next week.
Okay.
So we'll just leave it at that one.
That's fair.
All right. So.
This is kind of for both of us.
Oh, it absolutely is.
Because that's where I'm going.
Oh, yeah. but you are playing something else besides what we're playing together. So, Andy, you need to tell me and the crew members what we are playing.
So, to start off, I am still playing Last of Us Part 2. I'm going to give no actual information because, again,
that's fine.
There's people that I'm telling you, I don't say this about a lot of games. If you have a PlayStation, you have to play these games. You are doing yourself such a huge disservice if you don't, because the story is fantastic. Fantastic. I'm getting to points now in the game where it's a mind fuck, man. It really is. Like, there's times where I feel like I understand something, and then I'm like, God damn it, no, I don't understand it, and then I get it, and then it's battering my brain as to who I do and don't feel something for or whatnot. Like, I don't want to say too much because I'll end up slipping. But it's a great game. I'm about 20 hours in. I wanted to have it beat by this Friday, but there's a lot more to it than I anticipated. A lot. So I should have it done this week. And last night, we finally, the three of us, for the first time in 4 years.
From the stuff I remember from the last game, I guess it sounds like it was 4 years.
About 4 years ago, yeah. We all got in some NHL 21. We created our club in the world of Chell. We got our console gaming crew team.
Yep.
We played 5 games, went 5-0.
Yep.
It was a lot of fun. It was great having a human-controlled defenseman, Wes. That was a lot of fun. The only thing that still drives me nuts is I don't... Look, this is just me. I don't know why I get so irrationally angry when people don't have their actual name. It drives me nuts. So when I see Anthony as Massimo Stashmo, I want to slash him in the neck myself. It drives me nuts. I don't know why.
Look, I'm just happy that this game actually has my last name to be able to say.
Yeah, no game will ever have mine, so that's something I will deal with until I die.
One of the last versions I played had it, but then the next version that I played didn't. And then I got so mad, like, how the fuck do you not have Bradley? Seriously.
Okay. You want to bitch about that? Okay, let's go through what I
At least they can say your first name, though.
They just got that 2 years ago, though. The only thing they had before that was Andrews with an S on the end. They didn't have an Andrew. They had AJ, for fuck's sake.
AJ's the first one on the list.
Yeah, but they didn't have Andrew. One of the most common names in the history of this world. And they didn't have it. Up until, like I said, like 2 years ago. They only had Andrews, which is what I had to use because it was the closest thing that I had. Until we get some technology that maybe we get someday where you can, like, speak into your mic or something and somebody can figure out a way to say Scoobiac. I'm never going to have it. You got one of the most common last names ever, so you're lucky. They're going to fuck it up.
Screaming down the right wing is Scoobiac.
That's how it's going to be when they start it, yeah. That's how it's going to be when they start it. And because they have Andrew programmed in already, it's going to be super stupid. Oh, goal, hat trick by Andrew Scoobiac. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. But yeah, we played some NHL 21. Our first game was a little rough. We won it in overtime.
Yep.
That was a good team, though. It was a good team that we played.
Yeah.
And the next 2 games we really didn't have much trouble with. We won like 5-0, 4-1, and then I think we won a 1-0 and then a 2-1.
I mean, look, I made a point in these games to go ahead and basically just stay back and just be that defenseman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just cut off lanes, which is basically all I did. I was cutting lanes off left and right.
Yeah.
And look, throughout those 5 games, I only had 2 assists and that's it, no goals. So, but
yeah.
I mean, I still feel like I did my job.
You absolutely did your job because you prevented a lot of goals.
Yeah.
So think about it. The game that we won 3-2 in overtime and the game that we won 2-1, we don't win if you don't make those plays.
Yeah.
So that's the difference between 5-0 and 3-2, or even 2-3. But I'm really enjoying the way the AI plays because that was one of my biggest
AI
gripes.
is incredible, dude.
Yeah, like there's still areas where it can get better, but if I lent you my game, NHL 20, you'd want to burn it. It was so bad because the D wouldn't jump into passing lanes, they wouldn't find the open spot and stuff like that.
So one of the things I will say is, with being on defense is that because I play on the left side, so
strong side.
Yep, weak side. So if I end up floating to the right, or if a rush starts and I'm on the right, just for whatever the case may be, the other defenseman, the AI immediately just slides to the left and then takes my spot. Or if I start cycling up, because our center is AI, our center will go ahead. If you don't or Anthony doesn't, our center will float back to take my position.
Yeah.
Like, it's something that with the last few games that I played, I never saw.
Yeah, no, you didn't get it. And they, you know, they're actually better at taking shots now, because I told you in last year's game, they wouldn't, unless they were on a breakaway, they wouldn't shoot if you didn't tell them to. If you passed it to the point, they would just keep passing it around. Now it seems as though they actually shoot. I don't know, because we haven't played a game yet with 2 computer defensemen, because you play with us, so we'll see. Maybe one game you can
Jump up center.
jump up at center or whatever, and we'll see how that works.
I actually have a center mid.
Okay.
So,
but it's been a lot of fun. I went back on after we got done playing, and I started working with the new moves, so I could get familiar, and they're nice, man. They're nice. They've added a lot of things that really help. Just that little chip off the boards is nice. Everything, like, it just gives you more tools to be able to move around, which is sick. And yeah, I mean, I'm having a lot of fun. I mean, I'm sure it was the first game. I'm sure just like every other freaking year, I'll get, like, 3 months in and something will drive me nuts.
And then we'll talk about it here and let everybody know.
Yeah, but so far, I mean, I really don't have a lot of complaints.
Fun,
Now the only mode that I've played is World of Shell. I haven't gone in anything else. You have a little bit more knowledge than I do about Be a Pro. Maybe
I played one game Be a Pro, and I was a D-man in that too, and I love it because what I was used to before with the other one was with the last game that I played was
piss poor line changes.
It didn't matter about the line change at all. You know what I mean? If there was a rush into our zone and the defenseman needed to change, he would change when everybody's already in our zone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he would just leave the zone
instead of the rush.
Basically, leave like a 15-second power play by the time you would get out there.
Exactly.
And then your skates touch the ice, they score, and you get a minus for that.
Exactly. Oh, there were so many times I hated that. But now it's completely different. You know what I mean? Now it's during the rush. You know what I mean? Or when we're in the offensive zone. Then the defenseman will change, which I'm like, oh my god, that's fucking incredible. You know what I mean? I fucking love it. So, yeah, dude, I'm having a blast with the game so far.
Yeah, now putting up those traits that we put up on your loadout for Chell, I believe it's a little tougher to figure out, because from my recollection, now it's been a long time because Anthony and I were already, I think, like, prestige twice and had almost like 200 games on the last one, so my traits had already been set for the last 6 months, so I don't remember what it was like, but I do believe that this one, there's far more changes that you have to pay attention to that are drastic. Like when I was putting up a trait last night, it only, it put up 2 things,
but it
by
also
like 1, and it knocked something down like 5.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ooh, is that something that I can afford to lose? So you really have to pay attention to how you want to build the stuff that you like to do. But yeah, dude, I'm having a whole lot of fun. I can't wait to get back into it and do it again. It's the first game we've all played together in a long time.
Probably since Monster Hunter World.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we played the dog shit out of that too.
Yeah, we did.
We sure did. But yeah, no, it was a lot of fun, and I see more dubs in our future. It was nice to get a D10 title immediately.
Yeah.
Immediately, and it was cool because that, like I told Wes, I'm a stickler for going back in and looking at recent games that we played to see where certain guys are, because I can always tell when someone's really good. Now, the game hasn't been out long enough yet to get a legitimate ranking, but like whenever Anthony and I would win or lose a really tough game, I would go back and look, and we've beaten teams, and this was a month ago when NHL 20 was pretty much wrapping up.
Yeah.
And we've beaten teams in the top 50. We've lost to teams in the top 50, but that one team that we played first, the only loss they had all night was to us.
Yeah. No, that was definitely legit.
Yeah.
Let's see here. What have I got? I finished Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3.
How was it?
Fun.
Yeah.
Very, very good game. I had a lot of fun with it. Going against the Black Order and everything else.
Do you recommend playing the first 2 before you play the
It doesn't
third
matter.
one? It really doesn't?
No, it doesn't.
Nothing,
Not at all.
Nothing carried. There's no story that carries over each individual?
No. 1 to 2, I believe the stories carry through. At least it's into some aspect.
But 3 kind of starts its own
3, thing. 3 is essentially its own entity. Because
you're talking about like Cull and like, are you talking about all that?
Huh?
Like who do you go against exactly?
The Black Order. You go against Obsidian,
Proxima, Cole, and Ebony.
Ebony Maw, and then also another character named Supergiant.
Okay.
And then obviously Thanos, and then you. Yeah, no, I was about to break something in, but I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, good, because I do plan on getting to that.
So
what style game is that?
Overtop.
Okay.
It's an overtop. You have the ability of changing through 4 characters. You mean you have 4 characters on screen at all times.
Co-op?
Can be.
Okay. Online?
Yep.
Okay. I didn't know if it was couch or.
No, online co-op because Anthony and I played a little bit together.
Cool.
But yeah, dude, it's a great game. To where you can just keep on just building more and more and leveling up more and more characters. Like my final squad I used was Deadpool, Wolverine, Storm, and Black Panther. That was my final squad that I had up there, and it was a dime-ass squad. I started getting back into, because we were talking about it last week, I started getting back into Pokemon Shield. I'm still running through that DLC, that first DLC.
Okay.
I think I'm towards the end of that now, because I believe I'm running around trying to figure out which tower to go ahead and kind of depend on which way the evolution of Kofu, my little cub buddy, is going to go. You mean whether it's a water route or a dark route. So I got to go ahead and make the choice there. And then other than that, I've been playing God of War, which has been absolutely fucking incredible. I have not wanted to put it down. Like all this week during the crib training, I have been playing it constantly. I've been on until almost 1 o'clock in the morning every night.
Yeah, I think if the plan is for you to make the switch to the Last of Us series after that, maybe is it digital yours?
Yeah.
Ah, fuck. Well, Anthony's might be digital too. But I think either way, I think I'm gonna go.
I got the free version. That came up 1 month.
I think I forgot.
Yeah.
So, but God of War, I think, is what I'm gonna go to.
Oh no. Oh, sorry, I'm thinking of Last of Us. No. Mine's a disc.
Okay.
Physical copy.
If I can grab that off you after you're done.
Absolutely.
Make the switch.
Oh, dude, it is incredible.
Much
fun, and like you learn so much about Kratos and about his son Atreus, and just the back and forth between the two, and it is so good. And actually, little stupid thing now. So Kratos always, he barely says his son's name. He always calls him boy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Boy, read this, because that's just who he is. I started doing that with my 13-month-old. I look at him, I just go, boy, and he just goes, dad. And then we just go back and forth and keep on getting louder and louder, and it is adorable. I love it. But yeah, man, I've been playing a lot of God of War, and I can't recommend it highly enough, man. It is such a great game.
Well,
and then obviously,
if everything you're saying is true, then I'm setting myself up for a fantastic game.
Absolutely, you are.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, because I've been through, I think I've been through 3 realms so far. Because once again, it's Norse mythology, so you see, I have Midgard and Jotunheim, Alfheim, all that type of stuff. And I think I've been through 3 realms, including Midgard, so far. And I think I might have 1 more realm to go. So we got to go ahead and see what happens. Right now, I'm in a spot that I'm kind of getting a little mad at, because it's like a timing thing, and going and trying to do something at the right moment, and it's pissing me off. And when things piss me off, I go ahead and switch to another game, and that's actually what happened perfectly on Friday morning at midnight, because my PlayStation told me NHL 21 is ready. I'm like, fuck it.
Sweet, I can use hitting somebody right now.
Yeah. So, and actually, I went at, that's when I went through like all the tutorial stuff, like deking and shooting and passing, all that stupid shit. Well, not deking, but the passing and all, like I already knew that, but I went through it anyway.
Yeah. But
yeah, man, that's all I got, dude. I've been doing a lot of fucking gaming this week. I was off work. Like I said, we've been doing crib training with my son. That's why I didn't do Freaky Friday this week or last week. But hopefully, depending on how his sleeping goes, because his bedroom is directly above my man cave. So we will see how he does with sleeping, and whether I can play this game and be quiet enough. Yeah. To where if I don't wake him up. Because if I don't start waking him up, then I gotta figure out a new way of doing this. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because obviously what happens in the house needs to be priority.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens.
All right. So why don't you take us out?
Yes, sir. It is that time to connect with CGC as always. And the best place to do that would be our Twitter, which is @ConsoleCrew. Follow us. We will follow you back.
Yes, sir.
Also, we have a .com website. That is www.consolegamingcrew.com. All of our episodes end up there as well. You can dive back into the library, read some stuff about us. We're going to work on getting some blogs up there. We also have YouTube, because I know that's easier for a lot of people.
That's where our podcast, we load our podcast onto there every week as well, every Monday.
Yep, and we have some new content that we're working on. That'll be up there soon. More stuff for you to laugh at us about. We also have an Instagram, that's Console Gaming Crew, and Facebook, also Console Gaming Crew. We're trying our best to push our Twitch, Wes being the most important so far. We're trying to get him to affiliate. He's close. He is Dragon_CGC, so please go give him a sub.
Well, no, follow first.
Follow.
We can't do subs yet because we're not affiliated.
Yeah, you're right. You got to give him a follow. That's Dragon_CGC.
And I will follow you back.
Yeah, I am Scooby CGC, SKOOBY CGC. I haven't been twitching a lot lately, but I'll get back into it. And Anthony is CGC_Squishy Soprano, SQUISHYSOPRANO, Squishy Soprano. And that's where you can find us.
All right, so we appreciate y'all listening. Hope this was a good arcade episode for you. It's definitely a nice little trip down memory lane for us.
Absolutely.
And being as close to it as we are, and plus the ads we have, I want to tell everybody, please go vote. Any way you can. Mail-in ballot, in person. Just do it.
Make your voice heard.
Make your voice heard. Do your civic duty. You know what I'm saying? Get it done.
Yes, sir.
All right, so as always, stay safe. Wash your hands.
Game on.
Game on, y'all.